today I'm going to be doing my July wrap-up. So the good thing about daily vlogging almost every week was that I literally wrapped up pretty much all of the books that I read in July and all of my vlogs that I did in July for the biannual bibliothon and the reading rush. I burned myself out so bad on YouTube and reading. So this wrap-up is going to be really short, not because I didn't read anything in July, but because I already wrapped up all of the books I read in all of my reading vlogs. So if you want to know what I read for the reading rush and the biannual bibliothon, go check out those vlogs because I talked all about them and I'm not going to do that again. The first book I read in July that was outside of any readathon was Far From You by Tess Sharpe. This has been on my TBR for literally years. I first found out about this book 2-3 years ago when I was looking for books to read for the diversity bingo, and this book popped up because it features a bisexual protagonist who has chronic pain and is a recovering drug addict. So the second I heard about that, I knew I needed to read this book. It sounded amazing, and it's also a psychological thriller. Yes, it's a psychological thriller about the main character's best friend getting murdered and her trying to track down the murderer and putting them in justice. Needless to say, this was a wild ride. So many things are tackled in this book, like so many things. And I gotta say, like, the author handled them really well. Like I said, the main character is bisexual, so it handles her sexuality really well and explores that really well. And the main character is also a recovering drug addict, so it talks about addiction, and that's handled really well. Very female-female romance, and that's handled really well too. The main character has lost her best friend, and she's grieving her, and that's handled really well too. It's a psychological thriller, and there's a mystery and trying to track down the killer. That's handled really well too. All of these elements together make such an amazing, well-written book, and for that I gave this book 5 stars. But in terms of what I personally felt about it, I am not a big psychological thriller fan. It's not my cup of tea. I did really love this book, and it definitely is a 5-star quality book. Sad book. And it just kind of made me want more books like this that aren't sad. Sad queer stories are very important, but I just want more happy queer stories too. This is literally the only book I've ever found anywhere that has a bisexual protagonist with chronic pain and also deals with mental illness. I've never seen that in any other book, and this book is sad and it's a psychological thriller, and it's not the type of things I like, but I read this for the representation. I hope that this book opens up the door for more own voices authors to tell their stories, because I would love to read more books with bisexual main characters who have chronic pain and struggle with mental illness. I would love that so much, but as of right now, this is literally the only book that exists, which unfortunately sucks. But I still really loved it and highly recommend it if you love psychological thrillers, if you love sad contemporary stories. This is definitely the book for you. The representation is all on page. She comes out as bisexual at some point. She talks about her rehab and her drug addiction and her chronic pain, and she gets into a car accident, why she has chronic pain. All of that is heavily detailed in this book, so the representation is amazing and its own voices. 5 out of 5 stars, highly recommend. Next book I read outside of any readathon was The Hungry Hearts Anthology, edited by Chapman and Ellen O. I loved this anthology so much. It's all about food and how it connects us to community and how it can be used for healing. This anthology made me so emotional. I loved it so much. It takes place at this fictional place called Hungry Hearts Row, and all of these diverse restaurants are there, and so this story is heavily diverse. This is one of my favorite anthologies I've ever read, ever. This is one of the best anthologies I've ever read. I did a really detailed full-length review on Goodreads for this book, so I don't want to go too into it. So I'm going to leave my Goodreads review down below if you want to go check it out. But overall, I gave this book, I believe, 4.8 stars, something like that. I really hope that more anthologies about food come out because, oh my god, yes. Anthologies about food? Yes, I'm so here for that. The biannual bibliothon started, so I'm not going to go over the books I read for that. And then after the Biennial Bibliothon, I resumed my Princess Diaries reread, starting with Princess in Training. So I'm not gonna talk too much about this because I believe it's book 7, but basically this follows Mia in her sophomore year, and Lily nominates her for student council president, and so this whole book is pretty much her running for that and her dealing with her life and blah 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 blah. I mean, you know Princess Diaries, you know what Princess Diaries is about. I don't have to tell you what it is about. But anyways, I really love this one. Like, yeah, I think I mentioned before, like, rereading these books as an adult, like, I really see the flaws in the writing and how these books are really not the best. But I still really love them for nostalgia's sake, and they're still so much fun. I don't think I rated this book because it was a reread, but I really loved it, and I'm loving my Princess Diaries reread. Currently, I'm on the last book in the series, so it's coming to an end, and I'm really sad. It's bittersweet. After that, I started Party Princess. Mia was so annoying in this book. Oh my god, she was so annoying. This book is basically just about Mia getting invited to a party, and the whole book she's just freaking out about the fact that she's not a party girl and she needs to be a party girl, and it was just so annoying. Oh my god, that's literally it. That's it. All of the other books I read was during the Biennial Bibliothon in the reading rush, and this is literally the shortest wrap-up I've ever filmed in my life ever. Like, oh my god. But anyways, that's all for this video. Comment down below what you read during July. What was the favorite book you read in July? My favorite book I read in July is, I don't know. There's something about Sweetie maybe that I read for the reading rush. I loved that book so much. My social media links are all down below. My Twitter, my Instagram, Goodreads. Arrivederci!